I'm Danny Lipford, and welcome to Talk to Today's Homeowner. We're about to have some fun. We're outside, back behind my studio, where we actually have used a few of the things that we're going to talk to you all about, and that's paved stone pavers. A lot of things that you can do around your home. So sit back for the next few minutes, and I'm going to inspire you a little bit with a few things that you can easily do this weekend. Now, we'd love for you to reach down and hit the share button so that we can reach as many people as we can, and we're simulcasting on a number of different platforms, so we're looking forward to hearing a lot of information from you. And we'd love to hear from you. Any questions, any comments that you may have, we'll answer as many as we can, and our friends at Pavestone will chime in to answer a lot of others. And Pavestone's one of those things that's available at all the Home Depot stores and many other places throughout the country, so I'm sure in just a close distance from your home, you can get everything you need to create a number of the things that we're going to show you. Actually, we're putting a paver patio all the way around our fire pit here. The guys took a little break for lunch, but they've got the base down. They're going to come back and do a little more raking to get it just right. And then this is always a fun tool to use the hand tamp to get it nice and compressed, which is one of the real key parts of a successful paver patio. So they'll be back in here. We'll have this whole thing done today very easily. Now, one of the things that we did about a year ago is built this little simple fire pit. And I'm telling you, this didn't even take us an hour to do. We put some of the paver base in around the perimeter of it and then set the blocks on top, glued it all together, set this little fire pit in here so that you can have a fire, or you can throw a few stakes on that. We did that one afternoon last year, and so even though it's summertime's right around the corner, it's still a perfect time to go ahead and add this little focal point anywhere that you might in your backyard. Another thing you might think about is a bench, and it's really cool to combine some wood, treated wood, with some of the pavers, and that's what we did here. Again, this took so little time to build. It's a pretty comfortable, kind of a unique looking little bench to have on your back. Just think about that, having it all the way around your fire pit, and how cool that would be. But there's a lot of other things that you can build with pavers, and one of the main things that people use them for, of course, is to create a surface, or maybe a patio, driveway, sidewalk, anything like that. And it's a pretty simple project, and you can go to pavestone.com. They got some great videos step by step, and once you see it, you'll go, oh, I can do that. And of course, if you can get a friend to help you out, or get the family and the kids together with it, that makes it even more fun and even easier. Now, one of the things that you'll do is select some of the pavers. There's a lot of different kinds. Now, this is a kind that you would use if you're not going to drive a vehicle over it, because this is a 2-inch thick. They have all kinds of patterns, all kinds of colors that are available. And like I say, you've got kits for this, like the fire pit that you can put in. And they got a lot of other things, including retaining walls. You know, a lot of times you might have a yard that has just a gradual slope to it, and you wish you had it a little flatter. Well, you can create a terraced kind of arrangement in your yard by putting retaining blocks around, backfilling it in order to really get it nice and filled up like that. So that's a great way to go. But when you're talking about pavers for a patio, one of the things I always encourage people is, don't get too ambitious. You might wear yourself out and just not end up being the kind of project that you want. Do a little at a time. Now, because of the consistency of pavestone pavers, you can just do a 10 by 12 space and immediately start taking advantage of your backyard and that outdoor living area. Later on, when the time and budget allows, you can add another 10 by 10 or another 10 by 10. The consistency will be there so that you can really be able to realize the permanency of the pavers like that. Now, I did get some questions in. I want to go ahead and hit a few of those. And again, I would encourage you to send some in right now. When we announced that we were having a Facebook Live, all of a sudden we got a lot of questions about it. This one came in from Joe Mitchell. Says, what is the best way to deal with rocking pavers in an existing driveway? Well, you got to find out what's causing that rockiness in that section of pavers that you may have, and most likely it's a root. You might have a tree 20 feet away, and roots can still cause you problems there, but it's not all lost. Here's the little trick. Take a wire coat hanger, and you can cut a piece of wire coat hanger about like that. Then you take your pliers and turn it, kind of an L shape to it, and then you can take that and stick it right down beside the problem paver, turn it, and pop it right up. That's a lot easier than trying to get a crowbar or anything else out there where you might chip the adjacent pavers. You can pluck that one up. Probably have to take up several of them and then find what the root of the problem is. Root might be a root, but what the actual problem is under there. If the paver's not, you know, the paver base isn't substantial or whatever it is, you can find the problem, fix it, and put the pavers right back in. So that'd be a very easy one for you there, Joe. Patricia says, once the pavers are in place, can they be removed / stolen? Don't want jealous neighbors absconding with my pavers. Well, never had that question before, but no, they're just floating there. If someone was devious like that, then I guess they could come over. Thing about it is, I don't know, I always think of thieves being lazy, and it will take a little bit of work for them to steal a significant amount of pavers. So I don't think that would be a problem for you there, Patricia. Lisa says, how do I remove grass to start a paver project? Well, here we didn't have to, because this shaded like this really didn't have any vegetation here, but it is very important to remove that grass. You can use a total weed killer or grass killer, vegetation killer, and kill the area that you have there several weeks prior to putting it in. That makes it a little bit easier to skim that grass off. But I'll tell you, if you're disturbing a fairly good size area that has a good grade of grass there, you might consider renting a machine. We call them Sod Busters, but they actually have a blade that you push along similar to a lawnmower, and it cuts underneath that grass and actually lays it out just like sod. Then you can cut it in sections and use that somewhere else in the yard. Or we even did a project on our television show a while back, and the homeowners actually sold the grass that they were to a neighbor for, you know, next to nothing, but then they had the Sod Buster. So basically the rental of the Sod Buster was paid for by the little bit of money that they made off selling the grass, because you can say you can have this grass. So one way to do it, a lot of different ways of doing things like that, but if you have a sizable amount, that certainly will save you a lot of time. Again, if you'd like to send us a question, any kind of comment, do so. We'd love to get as much interaction with you as we possibly can, but more important, to really answer any question that you have about pavers or paver projects. I'm about to show you a few pictures that kind of give you some inspiration there on a few things. Here's another one. Said, I recently moved to the Knoxville, Tennessee area, and I'm going to have a paver sidewalk installed. The landscape contractor is planning to install the pavers that are less than half the thickness, since there would be no vehicle traffic on it, and the ground only freezes approximately 1 to 2 inches. Now, coming from the Chicago area, I've never heard of thin pavers like this. Is this a recommended installation, or is there any potential problems using these thin pavers for the sidewalk? You can do that, but I'll tell you, they will have a tendency to shift a little bit more than you would have normally. I'll be able to show you some pictures here in just a second. I would prefer going with at least the 2-inch ones if you're doing that. They just lock together a little bit better. The thinner ones like that generally will go down on a hard surface like concrete. But let me show you a few projects that we've done here. First of all, look how you can do with a tree ring, and this is available in some of the retaining blocks, and how nice that can make that tree in your front yard or backyard look. Really easy to do. Another one we did, this is actually one of the winners of our best, our backyard paradise contest that we do every year, and we created sidewalk, we created a little area out in there, and then put the little cover over it, just completely changed their backyard. Here's another one. You got the fire pit right in the middle, and then we've got the rope lights around. This is one that we did up in the Colorado Springs area a couple years ago, and just created in the nice variation of colors. I love that. It really makes it very natural looking. Another fire pit, people love those, and you can see the border on this particular patio and how nice that turned out. Now, here's another thing. You can take a regular grill, take the arms off of it, and then stack these blocks around. And we're talking like Legos. You're just stacking them up, gluing them with adhesive in order to create this custom look, and you have the flat areas on top that you're able to you know, have for your food and so forth. Here's another different one. This is a kind of a corner fire pit that was created. I like that one a lot. I think we did this one up in Maryland. And there's another shot of that. And then, you know, you can use your retaining walls to create just a little bit of an enclosed area. It's good for if you have kids. So that gives you just a few ideas, but I tell you what, you could see a lot more by going to pavestone.com, and we always encourage you to go by todayshomeowner.com as well, because we've worked with our friends at Pavestone for a long, long time. And we just love doing these kind of projects. Obviously, if we're doing all of this right in our own office area, because we know that we can come out, we can have meetings out here. We can, when it cools down again, we can, have some food out here and have a nice, fire pit and all. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do. And yes, you can do it yourself. Very, very easy. And certainly hope we've been able to provide you some basic information and basic understanding of what's involved in it. And the thing about it is, you can go and do as many projects as you want. You can really get creative. If you see something in a picture, matter of fact, we're about to head to the winner's house of the Backyard Paradise this year. A gentleman named Jeff Lynch won it in New Jersey, Glasgow, New Jersey. So we'll be headed up there in a few weeks to build a really creative fire pit and a really creative table. We're actually working with the parent company of Pavestone, Quikrete, for a concrete countertop. So think about it, concrete countertop. You integrate a little bit of wood here and there into your outdoor living area, and it won't take long before you will have the spot in the neighborhood that everybody wants to gather. So it really is a very easy way, and certainly hope that you continue watching today's Homeowner Television show, listening to our radio show, and we'll tell you more and more about tips that are available to make your backyard the best looking one on the block. Remember, leave us any comment or any question. We'll get to as many of those as we possibly can, and we certainly appreciate our partners Pavestone for working with us on this Facebook Live, and we appreciate you taking some of your busy day right around the lunchtime here to spend with us. I hope we've been able to share some information that you can really use. I'm Danny Lipford. We'll see you soon.